Hey, it's that time of year again where many of us set New Year's resolutions and goals that we simply fail to achieve. In this video, I'm going to give you 10 points to help you achieve your goals and New Year's resolutions. Hey guys, Chris Love, the Normal Fat Guy here, and 3 years ago, I went on a mission to lose weight and get in shape. I dropped 66 pounds in 108 days, and the way I did it was I achieved a goal because I created some common things that helped me do it. And in this video, I'm going to walk through 10 things that you can do to help you achieve your goals and New Year's resolutions. Each year, roughly half of North America sets New Year's resolutions and goals, but only 8% of them actually see them all the way through. But it doesn't have to be that way. If you have a good plan in place, you can achieve any goal you set your mind to. Most of the goals are related to weight loss and health and general fitness improvements in our life, which is exactly what I set out to do 3 years ago. So without further ado, let's get into how to achieve your goals and New Year's resolutions. The first thing is you have to make a specific goal. You simply can't say, I'm going to lose weight. Instead, you need to say, I'm going to lose X amount of pounds. And the next step in a relationship to it, you gotta set a time frame. So don't just say, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. Say, I'm going to lose 10 pounds this month. Or, I'm going to lose 50 pounds this year. Personally, I prefer the 50 pounds this year to the 10 pounds in a month. And I'll tell you why. That's because it's a bigger goal and it feels like you've got more accomplishment when you reach it. But I would probably even make it 50 pounds in 6 months. Personally, I did 66 pounds in 6 months and turned that into 66 pounds in 108 days because I applied these principles to achieving that goal. So make sure you make your goal a specific goal with a time limit. If you don't do that, you're just opening yourself up for failure because you don't really know when you achieved your goal. And by putting that time limit on it, you put a sense of closure to it. You have to get something done by this date. That's why we have due dates in work, and homework has to be turned in on time. Next, your goals must be measurable. That means you have to find something that you can track to know where you stood when you started the process to achieve your goal, and did you actually meet the goal? You have to have that number. Remember, it has to be specific, so you need something to measure. When it comes to weight loss, the obvious choice is how much you weigh. That means stepping on the scale as you start your journey and when you finally achieve it. And that will do things like keep you motivated, but also tell you how on track you are. Now, weighing may not be the absolute best point for you. It may be measuring your waistline. And then I'll tell you why. As you go through a weight loss process, if you include exercise and weight training in it, you'll gain muscle mass. Now, muscle weighs more than the fat that you're losing. So there were days and weeks in my journey where I didn't lose the weight I was expecting to lose. And if you look at the chart, you can see it's kind of a jittery slope. And that's because I was gaining muscle weight and being stronger. Now that's a good thing when you're trying to lose weight because muscle also burns more calories. But when you step on the scale, sometimes you gain a little weight or don't lose any at all. And that can be a little discouraging. So I also encourage you to find some other factors to measure to see if things are going the right way. And measuring your waistline is also a good indicator of what's going on. Now, if you've got a scale that can do the body fat percentage and you trust it, maybe that's another thing that you add to your regimen of measurements. Now, not every goal and resolution is related to weight loss, and that's okay as well. Again, find something you can measure. If you're familiar with how businesses work, Successful businesses have things called key performance indicators, or KPIs, and you need to identify what those KPIs are to help you achieve your goals. The goal must be your goal. It cannot be somebody else's goal. And you may be wondering, well, Chris, what does this really mean? Well, sometimes we see other people try to achieve something. Like, I've been seeing a lot of weight loss success stories because it's the first of the year, and they're like, these are stories of women that have lost over 100 pounds, or these are stories about people who've lost 50 pounds, or maybe my story. It doesn't really matter. That was my goal, to lose 66 pounds in 6 months. Maybe your goal is slightly different. Maybe your motivations are slightly different. For me, my motivation was I wanted to live a healthier life. I wanted to live longer, but I also wanted to be there because I felt like I owed it to my family, because they love me and they expect a lot from me, and I want to be able to be there for them and give back to them as well. So those were driving motivational factors for me to get the job done. Now, you may need to find something similar to motivate you to get your goal achieved. And a lot of times it has to be internal. Now, when I first started this process, I didn't tell a soul what I was doing. I didn't tell a soul why I decided to do this. But when I found out I weighed 272 pounds, I knew I had to do something, and it hit me in the stomach like a gut punch. It woke me up and got me going the right direction. Maybe you've had that pivot point in your life as well, and maybe you've got that internal motivation. Don't lose sight of that. Make sure that you keep feeding that fire, because I think that will push you along more than anything else. Next, you need to write down your goal. Put it somewhere you can see every day. Common place for this, put it on a post-it note or some other piece of paper and put it up on your family bulletin board in the kitchen or something like that. Stick it to your refrigerator. That's a good place to put it if you're trying to lose weight. But I got another idea for you as well. Write a digital note to yourself. Make it the wallpaper on your screen, on your home screen on your phone, or your wallpaper on your desktop. You're probably going to see it once or twice or many times a day, and it's going to be that ongoing reminder to tell you to stick with your goal. I think this can be a very motivational factor, and also one that keeps it first and foremost in your mind. So write down your goal somewhere. Don't set too many goals. And this is one of my big Achilles heels. I see so many opportunities in life, not just losing weight and getting in shape, but my professional life as well. You see, I'm a software developer, but I'm kind of entrepreneurial, and so I'm constantly seeing opportunities to work with the latest technologies to bring things to market, so to speak. But my problem is I try to do way too many at the same time. And this can be a very big problem, because now you're essentially paralyzed by all the different things you're trying to get done, and you can't just sit down and focus. And that's a very important thing when you're trying to try to achieve your goals. Make sure you're focused on one specific thing at a specific time. Now, when it comes to how I lost the weight, how did I balance that with my family and work life? I got up every morning at 6 o'clock and did a workout before the rest of the family got up. It was one of those things. If I got up every morning, it was very real, and I made it personal by doing that. On top of that, every night I would go to karate class. Well, not every night, but most nights I would go to karate class, and some nights I would also do an additional workout. But I also made sure that I ate healthy. I didn't eat any fast food anymore, and I ate a lot more salad. So I made some changes in my life that didn't necessarily consume time per se, but once I got the basics down, they were just part of my daily routines. So try to find ways to make those part of your daily routines, and sometimes you find those little margins of time in your day, and maybe those are the margins you can also use to help you even improve your goal task or goal process even more. For example, during that process, I had a lunch meeting or a meeting every day on the phone, and I work from home, and most of the time I was not verbally involved in the meeting. I was simply listening. So I would put myself on mute and do a 15-minute workout routine during that meeting. So maybe you can sneak in a little cross-functional there too, and knock two birds out with one stone. But don't try to overload yourself trying to achieve so many goals you lose track of how to achieve any of the goals. Next, you need to review your goals' progress frequently. Now, in my weight loss journey, I decided that every Saturday morning would be my official weekly weigh-in, and that would tell me exactly where I was in my journey to lose all that weight. But every morning, every day of the week, I also weighed. And that's part of the engineer in me coming out, because I wanted the data to tell me what was going on. You see, personally, I wanted daily data so that I could then correlate it to my diet activities and also what I was able to achieve in my exercise routine. And I wanted to see how these things related. But I did make sure that every week I had one day, specifically exactly one time, and I had a consistent Saturday morning routine so that that weigh-in was consistent every single week, and it would tell me exactly where I was on that journey. So make sure you measure frequently, and the reason is it gives you an opportunity to adjust course. Now, I was trying to correlate diet and exercise to actual weight loss, and I could see clearly some things that had dramatic effects one way or the other. For example, I had to learn I needed to give up pizza. And I had cut down on pizza, believe it or not, but I love pizza. And I realized that when I had pizza, typically say Saturday night with the family, for the next 2 to 3 days, I had an extra 2 to 3 pounds being carried along. When I stopped eating pizza, those extra 2 to 3 pounds on Sunday and Monday were gone. And that helped me achieve my goal even faster because I cut out something that had a negative impact on me achieving that goal. Now, this is something that I didn't necessarily have to do explicitly, but I do encourage you to do this. Share your goal with selective friends and family. Now, you could go post it on Facebook or some other social media channel and have all those people that follow you possibly see it and go give you a big thumbs up or like it or whatever. And that's nice and everything. But if you've got some close people to you that really know why you're doing it, what you're doing, and you're passionate about it, they can hold you accountable. And that's because they see and influence you all the time. Now, I listen to the Entrepreneur on Fire podcast by John Lee Dumas. In every single episode, he closes it out by reminding us that you are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with the most. So make sure those people are positive influences on your life. And that's what this really boils down to. Find people who are encouraging and positive to help you achieve your goal. Now, like I said, I didn't go out and tell anybody what I was doing up front because I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do this. And I didn't want to seem like a failure to them. Maybe you're feeling the same way. But I think most people need somebody to kind of help and encourage them on their journey. Now, after a while, it was sort of like the inverse of being a pregnant woman. There's a point where you can't hide what you're doing anymore. And after about 6 to 7 weeks, a lot of my friends started noticing I was smaller. And they started asking me, what's going on? What are you doing? And as I kept going through this, they kept encouraging me. And I can't tell you how valuable that was. So find some friends and family that will keep pushing you and encouraging you along the way. And when things don't go right, they'll be there to let you just console with you and work through those down moments that you're having, because you will have some down moments on this journey. No matter if it's weight loss or anything else in your life, you're going to have those moments where things don't go quite right, and it's good to have somebody who's there by your side. You have to get outside of your comfort limits. Now, the other night, I heard a great statement by my sensei. He closed the class prior to mine by reminding them that you need to set your goals outside of your comfort zones. And he stated that when you are outside of your comfort zone, you know you're on the right path. And I thought that was just so appropriate to this message. You see, many of us set little wimpy goals. And yeah, I can lose 5 pounds in a month. Yay! That may be a big goal to you. I don't know. But if you say I'm going to lose 2 pounds in a month, that's a really wimpy goal. So make sure you set big, fat, hairy, audacious goals. And when you do this, you will find that you can achieve a lot more than you thought you could. And when you make or achieve that one big, fat, hairy, audacious goal, you're going to have all kinds of confidence that will bleed over into other areas of your life. And those other goals are going to just seem like cupcakes to you that you can just smash with your fist. And I want to encourage you to, if you say I'm going to lose 5 pounds in 2 months, amp that up. 5 pounds in a month or 10 pounds in 2 months. Make it bigger. Go big or go home. Now, don't lose too much weight so that you're unhealthy. Please do not do that. But if you're like me and was 272 pounds, 66 pounds in 108 days, I did it. But my big, fat, hairy, audacious goal was to be 200 pounds by July 1st. And I did that by April 20-something. So you can do it. You can achieve your goals. I did mine way faster than I ever dreamed possible. And I originally thought 6 months was going to be too short of time frame. But I did it, and I did it in less time. And I think that's what you'll find if you put your motivation and all these points together to achieve your big, fat, hairy, audacious goal and New Year's resolution. Now, the last thing you need to do is effectively make all of these one big system. Any successful business has a process or a system to produce their products and services so that they are a consistent quality level, and also they know what it costs to produce them. That way they can price it appropriately for their customers. And this is what you need to do with any goal. You need to build a system. Now, I'm not saying you will know everything up front. Most of the time, you just have to leap outside of the nest and figure out how to fly. And that's how I did my weight loss, to be honest with you. I knew some basic things. I needed to eat better. I knew I was eating too much fast food. I needed to exercise. Even though I was exercising 3 or 4 times a week at karate, I knew I needed something more and something more structured. I combined the two of those to lose the weight and get in shape. But there was more to it. I've talked about measuring and tracking and analyzing everything along the way, trying to find out what's the negative influence and what are the positive influences, excluding those negative things and increasing the positive things, and trying to find other things that are beneficial along the way. You need a system for everything you do to make sure that you do it well and do it consistently. So that's the 10th point of how you can achieve your goals and New Year's resolutions. So let's review all the points. First off, your goal needs to be specific. I'm going to lose 66 pounds in 108 days. That's a very specific goal. And part of that, you need to have a time limit on your goal. And your goal has to be measurable. For example, in the end, you need to measure frequently. That way you can adjust how you're working on your goal. You also need to write down your goal and make it somewhere you can see frequently. You should also find some friends and family members you can share your goal with so they can encourage you on the way. Don't set too many goals because you'll get too distracted and not get anything accomplished. Your goal must be your goal and not somebody else's goal. That way you have a key core internal motivation to get the thing done. Don't set wimpy goals, set big, fat, hairy, audacious goals that take you outside of your comfort zone so that you can realize just how much you can truly achieve and take that into all the other aspects of your life. And last but not least, make sure you put all of these together and create a system that helps you achieve your goal. And when it comes to weight loss and fitness and probably anything else in your life, when you create that system, you know what's going to happen? It will become your lifestyle. And you won't have to worry about gaining the weight back, for example. And that's one thing that did worry me when I did lose the weight, but I changed my lifestyle and I haven't really had a problem gaining the weight back. And I think you'll find a very similar experience if you put all these together and create a system to achieve your goals and New Year's resolutions. Now, hey, if you found this video helpful or motivational, give me a big like down below. If you got any questions or comments, leave those in the section below as well. If you think your friends or family might benefit, share this with them. And I hope that you have a great journey on your path to achieving your goals and New Year's resolutions.